but it's Rene Van Dommel, the dog captain, has won it, and he's going to kick to the northern end, which is the scoring end here at Football Park. It has been, in fact, in all Escort Cup games this year. But Glenelg, on the other hand, have got a very powerful lineup, and I think a guy that has made a big difference to them is Wayne Henwood, because he gives them the versatility of a ruckman that can start the game, and also a player that they can play loose in defence or even at centre-half forward or centre-half back, Robert.
He sure can. Like, he's a big mobile man, isn't he? He loves to come out in the first ruck. They don't name him in the first ruck, but he usually is out there and jumping, and he jumps right at the ball very hard. He's a very competitive player. He's got great movement, and of course he's a thunderous kick when he gets onto one every now and then. He's liable to kick it 60, 70 metres without any difficulty whatsoever. And of course the player we mentioned earlier this evening, Tony Hall, on that half-forward flank, looks like he's going to mature now to be the player that everyone thought he was going to be at 17.
I just can't wait for the game to start to see him again, because if he plays like he did last week, well, I'll be delighted. Copping, the word is that he hasn't trained. It certainly is his first game this year, but he's out there at right half-forward flank. Fisher, I think, is a lad from Canberra, if my memory's not letting me down. Alan Stringer there at half-back. Of course, the centre position's on with him. I don't know if Grenville would play in centre all evening. Stephen Copping there, and he looks pretty fit, Robert.
He always does, keep himself in good nick. I think that's the important thing about the summer. The tragedy of it is players don't play summer sport a lot now. They do a lot of football training, but lads like Stephen who are involved in a little bit of physical activity, they usually come up pretty well. It's a matter of getting their ball touching. He's had a little bit of problem with his groin, of course, in the last year or so. His kicking has been affected somewhat. He's only been able to kick the ball 40 metres at maximum, and that's been a bit of a blow for him.
Duthie there, number 26, just walking out of screen, is some people say the best fullback in the competition. Now that's Grenville there, number 43. He'd be familiar to reserves watchers. He's played quite well for the Glenelg reserves. 31 there is Seabohm, and he is just such a steady centre half-back player, isn't he?
Oh, he's a great player. He's got great touch. His ability to recover and get his hands on the ball is terrific. He's a very tight player, good close-in skills. Great player, John Seabohm.
Glenelg have got a Foster's Cup commitment on Tuesday night here in Adelaide against Footscray, and they've left out a couple of players tonight, Robert, because I think we acknowledged last year it's just pretty hard to keep coming up week after week, particularly if you have to come up on a Tuesday night. Foster's Cup, of course, will be 9:30 on Channel 7 on Tuesday night, but it's tough, isn't it?
It certainly is, and Glenelg coach Graham Cornes, he'll be looking for these players not to get injured tonight, but he'll be looking for a bit of that team play and that ball play from player to player that we've seen in the last couple of matches from Glenelg. He's certainly got them going well, Graham. He's got a bit of a charisma that's got into the Glenelg players. I know that it could be said quite easily the players were there when he went there, but there's no doubting that there's that little bit of spirit there. You don't win grand finals without that, and that's the coach's responsibility.
No, he's done a fine job. Of course, there's great interest on Tuesday night with Tony McGuinness being cleared to Footscray, and if you tune in at 9:30 on Channel 7, Foster's Cup Tuesday, you'll see all the action, and it'd be great to get a South Australian side to beat the Victorian side again. Norwood did it last year. The game's underway now. Dave Darcy and Ian Day are your callers.
Round 3 of the Escort Cup, Glenelg against Central. Glenelg with a 2-love result. Central's 0-2. Copping over the top there of a Central's player, and the umpire said holding the ball, and the free kick is going the way of Kidney for the Tigers to put them into attack into the breeze in the first quarter, going long to the half-forward line. Looking up there for Michael Murphy. Copping, fine mark. Came in from the side, those long arms got up there, and he's got it about 45 metres out. Off goes Gardon out in front of that player. He's going to have volley it, wants support, gets a handball away to Kidney or put him in trouble, and coming through the handball from McGrath. Long one out from Van Dommel, now Bytheen. The running player on the outer side is Nolan. Nolan kicks long to the half-forward line, didn't lift his eyes, and Supergore dropped the turf, or dropped the mark, he turfed it. Not a good one at all, and the umpire says play on. Glenelg come away through Cruz, coming back after those, or that tooth problem he had when they were knocked out at Bordertown, and in defence the mark has been taken back there by Hull.
Hull it is for the Dogs, who drives them into attack again. Michael Walters on that outer side. Brady is in there, so too Nolan. The handball is a wild one. Walters butters up. Cruz on the bottom of the pack. Players going in strongly. 15 for the Bayers, Tony Fisher. Recruited to them from Canberra, and there'll be a bounce by umpire David Craze at centre half back. Umpires tonight are Laurie Argent and David Craze. 11 is David Flintoff. Fisher it was who got the handball, or was it Grenvold? Finally the ball comes out to Alan Stringer. Back it goes to Seabohm. Seabohm goes short and finds teammate David Kernahan. So the Braves will get out of trouble. Central's going with the breeze in this first quarter to the lake end of Football Park. And the crowd, just for the moment, have gone a little bit quiet. But there's Tony Hall taking a fine mark, and what a great player he was last week.
Sure was. Centres the ball to Glenelg. This fellow's got some toe, believe you me. Drive towards the half-forward line. Murphy behind again, comes out with a footy. Nowhere to go. Has a shot himself, but he's going to be offline. But for the first score of the game, comes from the boot of Michael Murphy. Glenelg 1 point. The Dogs yet to open their account. 2 minutes gone. So the
Central District without a win in 86. 0-2 is their percentage at the moment. Both games have been pretty close, but they haven't managed to win one. Oh, that's a good kick from Hull. It's gone all the way to the centre of the ground. Stringer left it behind. McGrath gets it over. Here's a chance for Pryor. Has one bounce, steadies, thumps it in towards the square. From behind, Duthie. Good mark. Oh, dear, oh dear. Coffey caught one high. He's got a 15-metre against him. Duthie's not all that happy. He's in a very impatient mood here.
I thought Chris might have been lucky not to lose that ball, David.
Well, I agree with you, but umpire didn't see it that way. In fact, gave a 15-metre penalty against Coffey. Ball being relayed back. Duthie to have another kick. Not going to kick it at all. He's going to hand it off to Gibbs. The Bay's changing tack as they come grandstand side. In front position was Fisher. He got a push in the back, but that's good umpiring from David Craze. He's played the advantage to Stringer. Alan Stringer, that is. Brother Wayne not playing tonight. Into they go towards centre half forward. Marshall got a heavy knock. Players going strongly. There'll be a bounce, and Laurie Argent it is to officiate.
Glenelg are a point. Central District yet to score. Graham Cornes isn't hiding in that group of players. The knockdown sees the run going the Dogs' way, but it's Robin Kidney who dropped the ball like a hot potato. They play on. Central District into attack. Here's a chance. Oh, no mark taken up there. Back goes Donovan, but the kick off the ground from the Dogs, just offline. A point. The kicker of that ball for the Dogs was Walters. It was. Yes, there he is running back. So it's a point apiece. The Dogs and Glenelg.
Yes, Peter, even Stephen, big super Carey in the back pocket to pick up the kick-off. Carey transfers play to the outer side, looking out there for Donovan. Used his body well against the taller opponent there in Bythene. Mark Donovan from half-back flank. Kicks long to the half-forward line, looking for Murphy. Thumped by Buckley away. The first sight of Fisher from the ACT. Beautiful pass now to Marshall. Out comes Gardon. He's going over the head, looking for Copping. Copping holds his ground. Back mark. Beautifully done, Stephen Copping. Too much strength, too much everything on that occasion, and got the ball. Thomas is a very strong player. Oh, he took a right cross around the Adams apple as well, but he's got the foot in. That's all that counts.
Recently married, Stephen Copping, and I don't know that he's done too much training this year, and he's looking all the better for it.
Looks pretty fit. 15 minutes or 15 metres out right in front. Kick underway. Goal to Copping. 1-1 the Bays. The Dogs a point.
First blood to the Bays, and they're kicking into the breeze. Came from the boot of Stephen Copping. Back in the middle, Bythene and Carey. Bythene it was that got the tap down, but Carey takes it, gets it over the top to Marshall. Roving to the night. His kick towards half forward, and the mark will be taken in front, although a bit of confusion between the two umpires at the moment. The ball's coming back from where it was kicked. The free kick is going to Van Dommel. He goes short looking at Bythene. Out it goes to Nolan. The Dogs into attack. The lead is on from Fraser, taken off hands. Cruz with it now at centre half back. Back into the middle. Copping late on the scene. Good mark by Van Dommel. Skirted by Bythene. A long way up from goal. There's nobody home down there for the Dogs. And it's Super Carey that takes the easy relieving mark.
Ross Gibbs he was aiming for. Mr. Cool, Ross Gibbs. Well, the umpire has given him a free kick, which he played for. He did it pretty well. Got the kick away finally. Oh, it didn't come off for him though. Central District with a big chance. Rene Van Dommel lines it up, and he beats their first goal. Central District 1-1. Glenelg similarly 1-1.
Rene Van Dommel, the new Dog captain, showing what a captain should be doing out there, fighting hard. Intercepted. Wasn't a good defensive move then from the Bays, and Van Dommel made them pay for it. His first The Dogs first, even Stephen at 1-1 apiece.
Interesting moves made by Graham Cornes. Max Cruz, in fact, playing centre half back. John Seabohm gone to full back, and Chris Duthie into the back pocket. Carey got the tap forward. Over the top went Grenvold. McGrath dummies well. Around Fisher. That's a high kick. 2 against 1 back there. Tony Hall it was that went very high. Good handball. Stringer playing at half back tonight for the Bays. Directs it towards centre wing. Good mark from behind Malcolm McGrath. So McGrath will go on with it. A handball over the window. Window's kick. Coffey on a lead from behind Duthie. The crunch to Gibbs. Gibbs plenty of time to steady. Has Seabohm just 10 metres forward, and that's the way it goes.
Got a lot of good defenders, the Bays. Seabohm to Stringer, Alan Stringer. He's at right half-back flank. Played about 8 minutes, scores a level, 1-1 each. Marshall got a slight push, window kicks off the ground. A chance, Coffey got the ball out. Fraser, kick was smothered, but it's Ross Gibbs with the run of it, and he did it beautifully. David Kernahan, who'll be aiming for. Down low to the ground, couldn't take the mark. The run is on from Donovan in hot pursuit, Walters. And there's a push in the back, paid by the umpire in favour of Donovan. Tony Hall runs into the open space. It's Peter Maynard who calls for the ball to come longer. Well, the Dog player in front was a fine mark. Strong mark. Centre half forward. Duthie couldn't mark the ball. Fraser off hands. He's caught on the kick. Ross Gibbs sees it go over the line, and there'll be a throw in. There's Fraser. He was caught very quickly by the tackle. Left forward pocket. Coffey is there, number 2 for the Dogs. He'll take the throw in against Peter Carey. Carey put it down, but may not come off. A chance, Flintoff onto that right boot, hooks it around, but he's offline. Got the point with that, so the Dogs are in front. 1-2, Glenelg 1-1.
The Dogs kicking with the breeze, probably worth a couple. Gibbs comes grandstand side, looking for Stringer. Window in there, pushed off by Fisher to Stringer. Good football from the boy from the ACT. Well, the handball's not all that good. Marshall under pressure, fight behind play. Stringer is going to pick up the free kick for his teammate. Norsworthy wants to go on with it, but it's going to be taken now by Marshall as he drives to Maynard, half forward line. The Bay starting to run the ball, looking for the lead. Off goes Copping now. With him is Gardon out towards Copping. Thomas destroys that one. Oh, Kidney, the high tackle, free kicked. He's got it half forward line. Robin Kidney will get it too far out to score. He's got Gardon in the square. Let's have a look at it again. Is he back turned into it a little bit? Gee, he was in a fair amount of trouble. Pushes out the pass to Gardon. He can't hold it. And coming away with it for the Dogs is McGrath. He gets it to Window on the half-back line to put them out of defence.
Window's kick heads towards the centre of the ground. Brady has front position. He's opposed by Max Cruz, and these two would know one another pretty well. Teammates from the Sydney Swans finding themselves immediate opponents tonight. Hall, what a blinder he played last week. Pushed out in the direction of Alan Stringer. Duthie met heavily. Attempted thump off the ground by Cruz. Here's a chance as Pryor gets it to Van Dommel. Not a good handball, needs help. Nolan, Alan Stringer, now David Kernahan. The Bay's an opportunity. Marshall distributes it wide to Hall. Hall chips in short. Garton on a lead, beautiful pass. Garton a good 55 metres from goal. Has David Kernahan loose at half forward. The kick's too long for him. Gets a nice bounce, however. The kick high. Copping from behind with the ball fisted out of play, and that's good defensive work. And there's Chris Grant, the general manager of Central District. 1-1 Glenelg, the Bulldogs 1-2.
It's in Glenelg's right forward pocket. Garton will do the work against Bytheen. It's coming close to the pocket again. In fact, it's handballed over the line. Hull was Buckley in fact was the handballer. Right half forward flank for Glenelg. It's been a good fast opening to this game too. Central District under a lot of criticism both within the club and without. Will certainly be wanting to do well. Scott Lee runs over the centre line. Carey's underneath that ball, far too far underneath it in fact. Flintoff meted out a pretty solid whack to him. He's under pressure, the big fella, under a lot of pressure. He's going to get a free kick though. He played for it and got it. Stringer taps it through. Tony Hall finding it a bit harder this week. The whistle is gone. It'll be Robin Kidney's free kick. The umpire is going to bring him back. In fact, it'll go to Stringer. No, Kidney's the recipient.
Gee, Peter, I reckon the Cowboys got the Bulldogs revved up tonight.
Yes, he has, David. They've certainly taken a lot of criticism, and that's the reason. Maynard into the pocket. Marshall runs backwards, went close to marking that ball. Stephen Copping came off second best in that encounter with Jamie Thomas. The ball was tapped forward. It is still in. Kidney, will he get another whack high? He doesn't. He's holding the ball. That was a good tackle then by Craig Brady.
Brady from centre wing to put the Dogs into attack. Leading 1-2 to 1-1. Brady towards the half-forward line. Out comes Coffey. Duthie there with him. Carey back in defence with Stringer. The heavy bodies goes in. A top bump then by Stringer. But he's under pressure himself. And here they go. They said it might be fierce. The Dogs starting to snap at the heels a little bit. The umpire quickly in to separate the players and Alan Stringer to get a free kick on the half-back flank. Cruz having a few well-chosen words to Fraser. But it's going to be Alan Stringer, most unconcerned. He loves a bit of a scrap as he drives back towards centre wing looking for Murphy and/or Fisher. Clever play by Marshall out towards Grenbold. Through goes Maynard, hasn't got the footy. He's free kick, check side of centre wing. Put them into attack. Off goes Copping now. He wants it at centre wing. Puts it towards the half-forward line, however, but a free kick for, well, it's going to be 15-metre penalty, and Maynard will get the ball this time on the attack side of the centre line. Still to put the Tigers into attack.
An old trial by 1 point. We're 14 minutes into the first quarter. Exciting opening to this game. Oh, good mark. Garton it was, out in front of Mark Hull. He's got it some 45 metres out. High kick, will go right to the edge of the square. Off hands Norsworthy. Norsworthy, long, finds his captain at half-back, left unattended. The long handball. Chance for Trimbali, met heavily by Cruz. Stringer in trouble, thrown off the play. There's a push in the back. No, says the umpire. As Tony Hall dives in strongly. Flintoff is there. Finally, umpire David Craze will bounce. Well, I mentioned that he's got him revved up. I'm sure that's the case, and Hall's not happy. In the middle of the ground, there's a bit of an altercation. Central's leading by a point, and they're going in fiercely at the moment. They've come under criticism, as Ian told you, and they're trying to make amends for those 2 earlier losses. Brady. Flintoff went through strongly. Again, there'll be a bounce. 15 minutes gone. Good opening, Peter.
Very good, David. Very good indeed. The free kick is going to be paid to Joe Trimbali. He's at centre half forward. Max Cruz, I think, would be a little bit tentative tonight. That was a shocking facial injury that he copped at Bordertown, requiring some expert orthodontal treatment. But apparently that's all worked. That kick is just offline, a point only. Scores 1-3 the Dogs. Glenelg 1-1.
16 minutes gone. Duthie lead on the outer side. Kernahan's going to have to work hard for the ball. Got a push in the back. Wound up without the ball. Hall, Donovan, almost dispossessed. Still got the kick away. Here's a chance now on the outer side there for the Bays to run it into attack. Is Elliott, is it? Maynard it was. Goes now towards centre field where it's taken by Marshall. Marshall gets a lead from Gardon, goes towards that player. He's underneath the footy. The back of the package, Copping, lost the ball. So did Gardon. Tapped out to now towards Kidney and Murphy. Over goes Garton. In there is Pryor. And the umpire will come in and bounce the ball 30 metres out in front of goal. 1-3 to 1-1. 16 minutes gone. The bounce down 30 metres out. Murphy didn't go for that one. Tapped away, however. Aerial ping pong. Moulds got the tap originally off the half-back line, Trimboli.
Trimboli's handball is out wide. Chance for Scott Lee. Got an awkward bounce. After it again, that's better. Lee now goes short and finds Brady. Brady in front of Cruz on that occasion. Directs play into the pocket. Flintoff out in front of Gibbs. Can't take the mark. Goes after it nicely, however. Picks it up in the pocket. Snapshots in towards goal. That's not a bad shot. In fact, that's an excellent shot. What a marvellous goal.
We've seen a whole lot of champions in Australia on NEC, Australia's champion colour TV. Seen them run, swim and fall, seen them hit and do it all. NEC, our champion colour TV.
NEC have always been champs in picture quality. Now, have a look at these great new stereo models. Or better still, have a listen to the NEC difference at your NEC retailer.
See him try, see him fall, see it best of all. NEC, our champion colour TV.
This is Escort Cup on 7 Sport. The Dogs 2-3, Glenelg 1-1. Trying to go into attack again, the Bays. Finally through Maynard. He got it from Cruz. No one can mark that ball. They all stood there and had a look at it. McGrath pushed it out. Moulds got it away. Now Nolan. Nolan goes long to centre half forward. Nobody home for the Dogs. And it is Tony Hall who took the good mark. Peter Carey having a rest, just replaced by Henwood. Alan Stringer in front. Good mark. Playing at half back this evening. We initially saw Grenvold in the centre. 5 kicks. Stringer. Maynard. Gee. Not too sure about the value of that tackle from Scott Lee, but it's on down there. Just between the two of them. I just couldn't work that out. Maynard took the mark. There was certainly no indication that he was going to play on, and Scott Lee ran 50 metres and jumped on him.
Very true, Peter, wasn't it? Not the most intelligent thing I've seen.
Well, you've got it from Channel 7, crew. Unintelligent. He wasn't reported, though.
Could easily have been.
Maynard plays it on. There's a change coming up, though. We've got Mark Pittman coming on. See, they're at it again. Scott Lee's involved again. Flintoff it was at the bottom of the pack. He just kicked that miraculous goal a little while ago. Now Moulds for the Dog goes long. Coffey's behind, in front Fraser, off hands Hall. Good tackle. The umpire says play on, a little bit lucky. Well done, Cruz. Sold it beautifully. A long kick to centre half forward. Big leap there by Buckley. No mark. Over the top, Copping. Read it beautifully. Marshall waited. The ball is shuttled out. Steve Nolan, by the way, went off the ground and has gone down into the rooms. Hopefully nothing's too wrong with him. Fisher, short, over the top of Murphy. Oh, Scott Lee just got his hand to it. 20 minutes into the first quarter. What a great quarter of football too. Buckley, Van Dommel, Thomas. Here they go. They're running it down now, the Dogs. Flintoff. Wasn't the best kick, that one. They had all the momentum going, and then he kicked it into a dead pocket. Fraser. Donovan. And Glenelg out of trouble.
Through Kernahan, out centre wing. Slips out the small pass. Murphy on the half forward line. Too far out to score. Copping's going to lead into the pocket. Woodland short. Smothered off the boot, but the umpire has seen it in favour of Murphy. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. And of course there's no time on. Murphy 15 metres closer, still can't score. A long kick in towards the full forward line, well taken by Moulds in defence. Talking of Stephen Nolan, when he was chasing a Bay player in the forward pocket, he went up like a Roman candle, and I think you'll probably find he's damaged a knee. And he's gone into the rooms, as Peter told you. Kidney gets it out. Woodlands, players go in hard, line ball, and the umpire will come in for the bounce. 2-3 Centrals, Glenelg 1-1. There's the siren. The end of the first quarter here in the third round of the Escort Cup. Centrals 2-3, lead Glenelg 1-1.
Certainly an interesting quarter of football. I was a little bit surprised, and David Darcy made note of it early, that they came out fighting the Dogs. Cowboy Neale obviously had them revved up. He made it clear during the week, David, that he wasn't happy about the commitment shown by some of the players. As at this stage, you'd mentioned they hadn't won a game in the Escort Cup, but they came out as though they wanted to win this one.
Yes, they did, Peter, and a good opening by them, but the lead is only 8 points. Glenelg answered the challenge, and there's really not much in it at the moment.
I'd agree. At quarter time, the Dogs 2-3, Glenelg 1-1. You're watching Escort Cup on 7 Sport. There it is, quarter time here at Football Park, Escort Cup. Central District 2-3, Glenelg 1-1. Flintoff and Van Dommel got the goals for the Dogs, copping the goal for Glenelg. And I must admit, David, I was pretty surprised to see Stephen Copping line up this evening. We'd heard nothing of him in the press.
No, I don't think he's trained all that much, Peter. He's been restricted a bit in his movements. But it's good to see him out there, those long arms again, pulling in that great mark and a good goal.
Certainly negates the idea that he had a contractual problem, doesn't it?
Well, it does. I know he loves playing footy, but like a lot of guys, I think he probably finds the grind, country guys, of driving down and having to drive back. Or I mean, your life's totally disrupted, isn't it?
And his first quarter was excellent, wasn't it, the marks that he took?
Ian, what do you think about the positional moves made by Graham Cornes? Cruz to centre-half back, Seabones to full-back, and Duth into the back pocket.
Well, Peter doesn't think Max Cruz can play centre-half back. I don't think Peter thinks he's tall enough. Is that right? Or is that a furphy?
I'll have to go home. No, in fact, let's get on to better things. Let's look at the fight. that was that strange tackle. Scott Lee just went berserk. I think he must have seen a fly on his shoulder or something and tried to knock it off.
He ran 50 metres to get into this, and Maynard was on his own and took the mark. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was...
I think that's an indication, David, of how far Cowboys got his players revved up. He really has.
Yeah. Well, despite all that, it wasn't a good quarter though for them, was it? They were kicking with the breeze, and what are they leading? 2-3 to 1-1.
8 points.
Yeah, but that's
not
not
a tight game.
Breeze.
No, I agree with you. But Breeze, as we saw in the first game, is probably worth about 2 or 3 goals. But I just think that they've got a little bit more momentum going tonight, the Bulldogs. I think in the last couple of weeks, is the Cowboys right, that they just haven't given enough, and tonight they've at least come out in that right frame of mind.
And the way they're playing might breed a bit of confidence. If they can get in front and players start to lift a bit mentally, but...
Brady's the key. If Brady fires it forward and they do something at full forward, they're a big chance.
The second quarter here of the Escort Cup. 2-3 the Dogs, 1-1 Glenelg. At the bounce, Moulds against Big Henwood. The ball winds through. Finally it comes out from Brady. Van Dommel. Now it is Window. Goes to the half-forward line. Players can't pick it up there. Duthie back in defence. Norsworthy, well done. Gives a chance now to the new player on. I think in McGrath, Pittman it was the new player on. He shoots for goals, but he's well offline. In fact, kicks it out of play in the full forward left pocket. Very rugged first quarter. It was suspected that it was going to be pretty willing. Wasn't too bad, a couple of minor incidents, and it could have got out of hand, but very strong umpiring as Gibbs brings the ball back into play.
8 points to lead to the Dogs. Gibbs long kick. Covers the middle of the ground. Grenfell from behind. Almost taken by Bythene. Chance for Tony Fisher. Breaks the tackle. Looks very much like Tony Simons. The kick towards centre wing. And there's Tony Hall. All the Tonys in the action at the moment. He hands it off to Fisher. Fisher towards half forward. Good pass. Oh, late on the scene. But the mark has been paid and taken by Mark Donovan. Thomas it was that was late in for the Dogs, and we've seen a couple of late tackles applied. That one that we saw during the break, particularly nasty one. Donovan has it. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. The ball's curving back, going awfully close, but not close enough. 1 point.
Glenelg 1-2, the Dogs 2-3. Graham Cornes has had a good opening this year. Glenelg have started very well. Initially at Bordertown, and last week here when they destroyed the Eagles. Oh, the kick-off there, not too good at all, but it's Rowe making good ground to mark it and avoid the statutory free kick. Cruz came in late, went for the late punch. Tony Hall put Flintoff out of action, and he backed up beautifully. Donovan copped a high one, and that was high. Mark Donovan, a good player. Copping makes good position in front. He uses that body well. Kidney's in a lot of trouble. That was a fine tackle. It really was from Bythene. He got it moving to Jamie Thomas. Plenty of good shepherding going on there behind the play. Now Brady at centre half forward. The two Swans, I don't think they like each other a great deal. Bythene and Copping are having a big go. Bythene's taken on 3 Glenelg players. Oh, they're coming in from everywhere. Tony Hall went in as hard as he could, so did Kidney. And I think it all started because McGrath went down with a shepherd here.
Yes, when Copping went in to shepherd him, Bytheen took exception to it. Little old poor old McGrath, who was prostrate on the ground, Pete. He didn't have a chance to take exception.
And the game's still in progress, incredibly. It's very lucky we've got 2 umpires. I think they might have to have 3 in the near future. Henwood kicks it over the centre of the ground. Big leap there from the Glenelg centre-half forward in Michael Murphy. Couldn't take the mark. The ball comes out very quickly. Bytheen appears to be hurt, although he's a big tough man. He's walking somewhat gingerly at the moment. The whistle's gone. It's a dog free kick to Rowe. Rowe passes off very quickly and Van Dommel's got it.
He's the attack side of centre wing. Elects to run the ball now to Flintoff over the half-forward line. They go towards Fraser. Setting himself in front is Brady, however, and he takes the easy mark 35 metres out in front. Maybe just a little further than that. He's kicking into the breeze. It'll need to be a good kick to score. 2-3 to 1-2. The Dogs in front by 7 points. The kick is going to drop short. Duthie in front. With him, however, there is Coffey. Puts the saddle on him. Duthie comes out with a footy, and that's good football as he runs it to Stringer in turn on the outer side. It's Kernahan and the Bay's bound clear. Over the half back line they go. In towards Maynard. Too far for that player. Murphy now slips it back to Maynard on the left leg. Out comes Gardon. He's going to get an FAD. Foolish football there by the Dogs. Gave away a free kick upfield, and it's going to Adam Garton 30 metres out right in front.
Yeah, I think that free kick was going to be on at some stage, Ian, and the umpires are now wanting to stamp their authority on the play, but that was a little bit soft, that one. There wasn't much in it.
Didn't see it, but I'll agree with you, Peter. Garton, you got upset last time I didn't. 25 metres out right in front, pops it through. 2-2 Glenelg, 2-3 Central.
Goal to the Bays, but the Dogs lead by a point. Approaching the 6-minute mark of this second quarter. Fiery opening to this Escort Cup match. Maynard has it and loses it. Holding the ball, says the umpire. The free will go to the Dogs. So they'll go into attack from the boot of Joe Trimboli. That's Coffey a long way down from the goal square. Rowe has it. A handball in the direction of Coffey. Gets one in the back. Play allowed to go on. Umpire Argent unsided from that. And there'll be a ball up at centre wing. 2-3, plays 2-2. Henwood in ruck for the Bays. Bytheen there, and Bytheen lost his cool a few moments ago. Morsworthy taps it over to Van Dommel, captain of the Dogs this 86 year. The mark has been taken in defence by Duthie. Lays it off to Cruz, sold the dummy. The handball in the direction of Grenvold. Bays into attack. Grenvold's left foot kick towards centre-half forward. Murphy couldn't take the mark. Buckley playing at centre-half back for the Dogs. Thomas through strongly. Brady a long way from Cruz. Threads out a handball to Peter Window. He's run his full 15 minutes, but that's poor disposal, Peter.
Yes, it was. I don't know that he ran 15 minutes, but he certainly covered a lot of territory. Gibbs puts it out wide. Stringer. Rowe. Got a bit of a push, but Rowe got back on it quickly. Certainly kept his cool then, Trevor Rowe. Flintoff, it went over his head. Now Max Cruz and Brady, they've had a pretty good tussle. I think possibly Brady is just a shade on top, although Max Cruz has done a good job. Trevor Rowe there, right on boundary line, left half forward flank. Goes over, gives Brady again. He's very strong. He's a stronger man than Cruz. And he's at centre-half forward. This will be his 5th kick. He's marked the ball well too. 6 marks. The Dogs lead by a point. They're tacking against the breeze in this quarter. The Brady kick will fall short. There's only one Dog player there, the rest are Glenelg. Here's a chance now. Walters can't pick it up. Flintoff there as well. Walters tries to tap it back towards Coffey, but it's Seabohm. As cool as you like, clears out of the back pocket and finds Maynard.
Maynard off the half back line, kick number 8 as he goes to the half forward line looking for Murphy. Well done, Buckley. Slips it across Bytheen. Now Pittman. The Dogs building attack. A long one in towards the half forward line looking for Brady. Up they go, can't get it down. Duthie. Through goes Flintoff, right forward pocket, no one to kick for, has got to go for home. Gibbs getting back there and should take the easy mark. He's got a week to get rid of the footy. He'll just stroll out of defence. Brady making trek across there to get to him now, but Gibbs just running away from him as he puts it over now to Kernahan, centering on the outer side. but the umpire has paid the mark a little bit premature, but he's paid the mark to Kernahan. Jack side of centre wing on the outer side, 1 point the difference. Kernahan foots it in towards the half-forward line. Maynard, gee, he's covering some territory. He was on the half-back flank a little while ago. Kick number 9 coming up. Puts a high one in there for Gardon. Sets himself. Bytheen at the back. Copping got hit on the nose with a footy. Gee, ran into plenty of problems there. Buckley got it out now. McGrath, the running player out of defence, is Pryor. Pryor goes to centre wing and Walters.
Walters couldn't mark. Well fisted by Stringer. Back it comes in the direction of Van Dommel. Ooh, Walters nearly got a high one. A kick from Van Dommel. Not well put. Gibbs takes it. Gets one in the back. Central's player late on the scene again. Gibbs is okay. It was Robert Fraser that came in late, and we've seen the Dogs on many occasions. There he is, into the back of Gibbs, very late on the scene. Cruz, going to get run down, but gets the handball out to Grenvold. Grenvold. Towards centre half forward. Kidney stood his ground firmly. Thomas burst clear. Good pace. One bounce. Kidney tries to run him down. He slips it over the top. Trevor Rowe it is, who goes onto the left foot and has found teammate Pittman. Pittman on the ground in the second quarter, spent the first on the interchange bench. Socks down. As short, the lead from Brady. Oh, well done, Tony Hall. Got across in front of him. Cut the lead off. Good defensive work.
A great interception. Grenvold. We're 10 minutes now into this second quarter. It's a great game of footy. Plenty of fire in it. The Dogs hanging in there. Pryor uses the left boot to go out of defence, but a nest of Bay players there. Cruz with good touch. Stringer, Allen, his brother's having a rest tonight, resting for the Foster's Cup on Tuesday night. 9:30 on Channel 7 Tuesday night. Glenelg against the Bulldogs, the Melbourne Bulldogs this time. And Tony McGuinness will be playing for the Bulldogs. Certainly a lot of interest there. 2-3 the Dogs, Glenelg 2-2. Murphy kicks long. In front is Garton. Copping's in the pack there, and also Woodlands. Got his hands to the ball, but that was about it. Now Pryor for the Dogs comes to grandstand side. Walters is at the drop of the ball, and he did that pretty well. Didn't have anyone to kick it to, so he handballed it to McGrath. McGrath puts it out in front of Fraser. He takes possession, gets it back cleverly, although the handball a fraction low. Van Dommel slams it onto the left boot. They're going to eat this, the Bays. No, they're not. They're going to drop it. Duthie. Gibbs. Henwood wanted it short, but Gibbs goes for the touch. I think he kicked it to his coach, or the opposition coach.
Very much a battle of defences. The Bays missing their playmakers, particularly McDermott, as the Dogs go to the half-forward line. Flintoff tries to break his way through. Under pressure now, Pittman hooks around the corner, loose ball. Duthie gets a nice set, barges his way through, lost the footy. Gibbs in support, and the umpire said holding the ball. Gee, well, let's have a look at it again, and that's not holding the ball. Well, at any rate, I don't think that was perhaps the incident. I think it was Duthie that got pinged for holding the ball, and it looked like that he was just upended with a strong bump. Still, Cruz. Short to Gibbs. Gibbs in the back pocket to send the ball out of defence. Kick number 10. Very casual. That could put Cruz under pressure. He's lost the footy now. That's holding the ball. At last, Laurie and I agree, and a free kick will go to the Dogs on the half-forward right flank.
No doubt about that one, Daisy. There's Peter Carey getting ready to come back on, but I must agree with that first one was very sus. Kick from Flintoff. In towards centre half-forward. Brady there. Aiming for Hall. Good speed and anticipation. Kicks high now towards centre half forward. Out in front, Copping. And good judgment. Not a good handball, however. Maynard wanted it but didn't get it. Malt now needs help as he goes to the ground, and umpire David Craze. Oh, he's picked a free. And I'm not sure what it's for. In the back he signal. Well, it's a surprise to me, but Maynard's got it. He's happy. He's about 50 metres out. Bay supporters expectant of a goal from Peter Maynard. It's high, his distance is okay, accuracy not. 1 point to the Bay, scores locked away.
Free kick a fraction soft. in a tough game like this. Glenelg 2-3, the Dogs the same. Hull kicking off to the outer side of the ground. David Kernahan, but a good mark over the top row. The running player is Scott Lee, the man who lost his cool midway through the first quarter. A few of them lost their cool, actually. It was a bit willing out there. Speaking of cool, I'm so delighted that it's cooled down since yesterday. I feel very sorry for the players if they had to play in that sort of heat. Garton, a quick, or was it Henwood, the quick kick away. Murphy, he's at centre half forward, but he's covering a lot of ground. Copping on a lead. Couldn't mark the ball. Thomas pushing it in front of him. Now he gets it out cleverly, but Buckley couldn't take it. Maynard to Hall. Hall lines up from 40 metres out and puts it straight through. His first goal, Glenelg 3-3, the Dogs 2-3.
3-3 to 2-3 at the centre bounce. Kernahan looks for support. Good handball to Henwood. Gee, he powers the ball up towards Gardon. Over the top came Hull. Gardon second grab. Gee, might have marked that. The umpire didn't think so. Through comes Hull. Murphy. Hull again looking for support. Van Dommel in there to help. And the umpire will come in and ball it up on the half-forward line. About 45 metres out as Moulds comes back into the play. Bytheen off. Bounce down. Moulds quickly into the action against Murphy. Makes front spot. Trying to break his way through was McGrath. Flint off. Van Dommel. Pretty high tackle that one, and the umpire will give him a free kick on the half-back line. Rene Van Dommel as Carey comes back into the action from the interchange bench. Van Dommel eases the ball off the half-back line towards centre wing. It's a high kick. Henwood behind. Didn't get the spoil, and it's well taken at centre wing by Moulds. Moulds, low raking kick to the half-forward line. Flintoff dropped it. Should have taken it. Battling in there for it now, and the umpire will come in for another bounce.
Low-scoring game, just 6 points separating the sides. The umpire's picked the free out now. He's given it to Kidney. The players are a little bewildered. The commentators somewhat also. It was a high tackle. Now he's given a 15-metre penalty as Bytheen's back on. Brady's limped off. The umpiring just a little difficult to understand. Henwood's gone off the base. Carey's on for them. Robin Kidney it is with the free kick. So just 6 points the difference, and Glenelg in front. Kick towards half forward. Lurking at the back was Copping, was it, at the bottom of the pack? Or was it Tony Hall? Woodlands it was, Craig Woodlands. And it was touched, no mark pay. Bounce at centre half forward. Murphy's there for the Bays. Woodlands run down by Moulds. The soccer off the ground. Only go as far as Carey, playing that kick behind the play. And he just waltzed onto the ground a few moments ago. The lead from Garton won't get that far. Kidney, good tackle, holding the ball. That's a good decision. Flintoff limps away with it, looking to somebody to give it off to. He's in a bit of trouble. But the Bay forwards cover that move pretty well. There's Carey. Gee, supreme in the air, isn't he?
Yes, he is, David. He judges the movement of the ball so well. He always seems to be at the drop of it. A towering torpedo punt. Woodlands uses the body well. He's caught again, though. He's finding it hard to get kicks. Flintoff had the ball, then got a push in the back, according to umpire Argent. I think the umpiring is probably frustrating the players a little bit. Not frustrating that little supporter, though. He's pretty happy. 18 minutes into the second quarter here at Football Park. Moulds got to the drop of it, but couldn't mark it. Got it out the back door. Coffey kicks off the ground. Moves it full forward. In fact, it's Fraser. Big Super Lumbers back. David Kernahan bears the brunt of a front-on tackle. And umpire Craze will bounce. Peter Carey's played 376 senior games. He's running up to that 400 mark. Peter Krieg getting ready to come on for the Dogs. Rowe and David Kernahan do battle. Now Flintoff kicked a miraculous goal in the first quarter. Hooks around. Bytheen in front. Good spoil away there by Max Cruz. Lawsworthy, a chance. No. Fraser has to try and get front spot. Plenty of body there. Walters tries to get rid of his opponent. He did plenty then, Walters, but gave away a free kick. Donovan. Not a bad player, Mark Donovan. He got a bit of balance and poise about him. Kicks up towards centre wing. Moulds behind, goes for the punch. Krieg on, Flintoff off, and Flintoff has gone to the rooms. Van Dommel finally gets left hand to it. Duthie hit high. Now Krieg onto that left boot, swinging it around but not far enough, and under the ball. Ross Gibbs, and that was terribly untidy from Bythene.
I get the impression that Cowboys told them, Peter, every time your opponent gets the ball, make sure he pays for it. And you see Bythene in the action yet again and giving away a 15-metre penalty. The Bays are the half-forward line. Tony Hall hasn't had a strong game to date. He's out on the outer side. Too far out to score. Fifth kick coming up. A high one in towards Gardon. Murphy moulds over the top. Gee, that looked like to be a good mark, not paid. Pryor comes out of defence. 1 minute to go in this first half. Carey sets himself. Can't bring it down. Coming through was Thomas, forcing the ball towards the line. Going to be a hard work to pick it up from there. Trevor Rowe in the action as well, and the ball has gone out of play on the half-forward left flank. Still a battle of defences. Very low scoring. 3-3 to 2-3. Moulds in towards Grenvold. Can't pick it up. Now he has got plenty of pace. Slips it over to Hall. He's got one to beat. He's pushed onto the angle. Chips out the pass. That's beautifully done to Copping. And Copping's got in the full forward left pocket. Only seconds to go in this first half. And Stephen Copping from 30 metres out. Booted one in the first quarter after a brilliant mark. And the Bays would like another one right now. They lead by 6 points. And that has made it 12. Second goal, Copping. The Bays 4-3, the Dogs 2-3.
Well, a vital goal that to the Bays. It's coming right on the siren. The siren about to go any second. There it goes now, as a matter of fact, as Tony Hall got in the pass. Copping left unattended. Poor checking by the Bulldogs defence, and the Cowboy goes for the foam, but he needn't worry about that because he can go down the tunnel with them now and have a real ear chew with them. At half-time, it's Glenelg 4-3, the Dogs 2-3.
Yes, and with goals at such a premium, Ian, that one on the bell was pretty important because that shot them from 6 points to 12 points in front. But the thing that's interested me most about the game is the number of moves that have been made, Ian. They've been all over the place.
Yes, Peter. Of course, if Graham Cornes is going for flexibility, the Dogs are doing it as well. But it's not a tidy game at all, and you get the impression that the Dogs are trying to unsettle Glenelg, and they're doing it pretty well. But I don't think they'll win the game by doing that because the skill of the Bays will eventually will out. 4-3 to 2-3.
Yes, you might be right. Coffey's at centre half forward now. That was a late move. Of course, Brady went off. Bythene was moved to a forward pocket. I noticed Duthie came out with Coffey to centre half forward, so there were moves all over the place. But Glenelg, David, just seem to be playing their steady form of football. The Dogs different to the first 2 weeks.
Yes, they are, and the Dogs weren't able to score in that quarter, in fact, Peter, while Glenelg kicked 3 goals too. It was a pretty strong performance. Some untidy work by the Dogs, but the one thing, their approach at the ball has been a lot better than it has been the last couple of weeks.
It has. It's half-time here at Football Park. The Dogs trail 2-3 to Glenelg 4-3. We hope to be talking to Michael Nunan, North Adelaide coach, during the break, and after that we'll be back with more football. Escort Cup 7 Sport. Yes, it is half-time here at Football Park. In the latter game, Central District 2-3, trailing Glenelg 4-3. It's a pretty tough, hard game. Central District certainly putting everything into it, and as we mentioned, you get the feeling that Cowboy Neale has told them to go out there and perhaps do something a little bit different. Certainly different to the last 2 weeks when the Dogs have had chances to win, but just haven't been able to go on with it. But in the earlier game, it was a great game of football. It had plenty of skill right from the word go. There's the quarter-by-quarter scenario. North Adelaide kicking with the breeze in the first quarter, 4-5 to 3-2, and then Woodville came back very well with a 5-goal second quarter. North Adelaide's third quarter going with the breeze. They got 4 goals, 3 that quarter. Woodville only 4 points, but that last quarter was a great seesawing quarter where Woodville looked as though they were going to walk away with it with about 10 minutes into the quarter, but a great last 10 or so minutes by North Adelaide saw them win by 7 points. Mike Nunan is the coach of North Adelaide, of course, Mick, and I got the feeling into that last quarter that things weren't going too well for you out there. You made a couple of moves, and they worked.
What took you to the last quarter to realise things weren't going too well?
Well, I don't know. I like watching North Adelaide play because I like the way they run the ball down the field. You can good open football. You're never out of a game. No. But you'd lost it I thought in the last quarter.
Well, I think I guess the side tends to play as the importance that the coach places on the games, and the way we'd programmed our preparation this week was to be a fairly light week, and then the heat came along, and we basically did very, very little work at all this week, and I think whilst that wasn't a detraction physically, I think it was a detraction mentally, and I just felt that we had a bit of a picnic attitude, and as I said, that's probably reflected from myself down. Nevertheless, they were still able to, when it was needed, and when I put a challenge in front of them in the last quarter, they were able to accept it in, with some of the ability and some of the desperation that I know that they've got in them.
Yeah, I noticed you put Bennett into defence late in the game. He got a couple of important touches. Darren Jarman, you moved to the middle because Andrew was having some trouble there controlling the Woodville centre player who'd played very well, Templeton.
Yes.
But you just got it back. I thought Max Parker's influence dropped away a little bit. Mick Redden's last half was very good.
Yes, I don't think we should underestimate John Riley's influence on a game when he came on a half-back flank. He just tidies up just about everything we can do, and I think it added to what Paul Arnold was doing.
You didn't play him in the first half, John Riley, but he came on at half-time.
No, I think one of the good things about the Escort Cup series is not only is it a good competitive series, but it does give you a little bit of an opportunity to, let's say, experiment. We wanted to play Darren in the centre to have a little look at him because he is such a different style to Andrew. And whilst people might think, well, you've got to get to Andrew quickly, Darren provides us with a little bit of a difference in the way he controls the game himself from the centre. I think he's got something in it. Yeah. I think he showed that in the last quarter, the way he picked himself up and did a few things for us.
What about Woodville, Mick? They to me seem to play a better brand of football tonight than I've seen them play for a long time.
Well, I'm a great enthusiast for what Malcolm's trying to do down there. He's cleaned the place up a little bit. I think we both started with
similar... try and work out what that means.
Well, put it this way, he put a different attitude into the club in terms of that you were there to play winning senior footy and not social footy, and it's very much like what we started with 5 years ago when a club's down the bottom. It's like a business gone bad. There's a lot of bad things creep into it, right. And you have to really attack it as a very strong business and make sure that people are there for the correct reasons, and I think Malcolm's gone about that.
He's done it a bit differently though, hasn't he? Because you've used the players from within the club, juniors, whereas Malcolm has gone out and taken players from interstate and also from other clubs.
Oh yes, I think he's also tried to take people from the country with a bit of talent, which is a very cheaper way of doing it than perhaps buying. If a person can't play footy in Victoria at senior level, he's not going to play over here at senior level. And I think we both agree upon that, and
it's been proved time and time again, hasn't it?
I think it certainly has, and I think our bank balances over here would be a hell of a lot better if we'd approached it in that manner a long time ago.
Grenville tonight, it was great to see him out there, and it was pretty important for him to get a game under his belt.
Yes, it's been a long road. Perhaps there are good signs in front of him as a person, and I think he'd be much rewarded if he can accept the challenge that's in front of his life. Not as far as we're concerned. I mean, we got to the stage last year where we found we were playing around with his life for the benefit of football, and that wasn't my approach, that's not my philosophy, so we had to do something which was perhaps going to jolt him into looking at his life, and perhaps he's starting.
Well, on that, Tony Androvas, he really is a player and a personality that we've just got to keep here. We've got to keep him at North Adelaide, we've got to keep him in South Australia. We must.
Well, I think I can't disagree with your sentiments about his ability, but I've seen plenty of champions and great players in terms of their skills and their physical makeup, but a champion shouldn't be called a champion until he's got the mental approach to it all. And I think it's a combination of all those sorts of things. Stability. The club, the North Adelaide Football Club, has gone absolutely out of its way to try and secure all those sorts of areas. And quite frankly, we haven't been helped by the Essendon Football Club. It's always, you know, I heard the other day where they've washed their hands of him, and yet they started all the problems by giving the boy $30,000 mid-season, and
that was last year.
Not looking after how you know, a young lad of that trying to handle $30,000. You can imagine, you know, without your guidance around him, where that leads him.
Well, I think at his age, I would have loved 30 grand at his age. Would have been beautiful, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you know, you may have had good advice around you in terms of what you did with it. But you know, some of those people over there have got a lot to answer for as the way they, excuse the expression, stuff people's lives up for their own benefits.
Mick,
I'm bitter on the way they handle it.
I can tell that, but how can we keep him here? I mean, the lads obviously had a few personal problems, which, and that's how they've been described in the press. But everyone has personal problems.
Sure.
They can be overcome. We've got to keep the lad here, and we've got to do something for him.
Well, I think what he has to realise is that you can't run away from any problem, and that in the North Adelaide Football Club now we have a very strong, stable base of people. We've got good leadership, we've got good players, we've got very stable and I think a correct approach to the way of handling what we do with our life and our footy. And I think that's what he's got to wind his way back to, because from there I think he can build a good life.
Yes, I'd agree with that. Great sentiments expressed there by Mike Nunan, and best of luck with North Adelaide and Grenville and Tony. Let's hope you can put it all together.
A lot more players in the footy side too, that's quite.
Yeah, you're right. It's a jungle, isn't it? Tomorrow night, don't forget the big match between Norwood and West Adelaide. That's a replay of last year's Escort Cup Grand Final. We'll take a break now, and we'll be back with more of the Central District Glenelg game here from Football Park. It is still half-time here at Football Park, and the half-time scores Central District 2-3, trailing Glenelg 4-3. A very low-scoring game, as you could see there. Flintoff and Van Dommel, the only goal scorers for the Dogs. Stephen Copping, a welcome return to league football with 2. Tony Hall and Adam Garton with 1 each. The statistics in the game have been somewhat interesting. If you have a look at that, marks, Glenelg 44 to the Dogs 20. Now that's a clear advantage to Glenelg. 90 kicks to 73, again in Glenelg's favour, and handballing almost double. Glenelg have been in front. They've won the free kicks. They've got the ball away from the middle on 100% better, at 100% better rate than the Dogs. So all in all, Robert, they've obviously handled the ball a lot more than the Dogs, and yet it's a low-scoring game. They're only 12 points up.
Yeah, it's been a pretty rough game. I can't see that Central's approach is really going to get them out of the quagmire that they're in with their form, Pete.
I've been watching you just off screen, and every time you see a tackle, and there's been plenty of them that are aimed around about there up, you cringe.
Well, I'm not saying they're headhunting on, don't get me wrong, but they are certainly going for the body to stop the run on. And whilst that's important, it's a little bit disappointing just watching them play that when they're getting the ball, they're not finding a body with the give, and it's putting them under all sorts of pressure, and they're forced into the tackle. In fact, they're forcing themselves into the tackle. They seem to be a little bit underdone with their handball and their ability to get the ball on accurately, whereas Glenelg just do it a couple more times, and if the game keeps going on like that, you know, if the game keeps going on with them struggling, they're going to get very, very tired, and Glenelg will just take charge because their ball skills will win out in the end, because after all, that's the basis of the game. And Craig Grady, not a bad mark either.
He's a big, strong man. He's had 6 kicks and 6 marks in the game, and he's very good. Tony Hall was best man on the ground last week. He got into the action just fractionally in the first half of football. I guess it's not really up to his normal standard, I guess you'd say.
It's a beautiful movement though, wasn't it, into the goal? He's a great player, Tony Hill. We're looking for a big season from him.
Yeah, we're looking for a big second half here too at Football Park. Ende is the caller.
4-3 to 2-3. The second half underway here in round 3 of the Escort Cup. Carey against by Thien. Half forward line. Trimboli goes through, showing a lot of pace. Long handball out. Here's a chance. Craig hooks in towards goal, but the umpire goes galloping, and the ball has been kicked out on the full. The Dogs with the last chance with the breeze, and they're down by 12 points in a very low scoring first half. In defence there it was Donovan. Dennis Russell on the turf, and the ball is fisted away from that player and out of bounds. A throw in on the half forward right flank. 4-3 to 2-3.
Coffey doing the ruck work for the Dogs. Kernahan in trouble. Krieg gets caught. Cruz a good strong tackle. Umpire Cray said it was held to him. So there'll be a bounce on that outer side. no addition to the score since half-time, and that score, of course, was 4-3 to Glenelg, 2-3 to the Dogs. Coffey. Flintoff it was that tapped it on, only as far as Maynard, pulled off the ball. Cruz. Having an interesting duel with Brady, former teammates, of course. The kick is high from Kernahan towards centre wing on that outer side. Big Jim West on the ground, gives it over to Donovan. Donovan's kick towards centre half forward, or Copping. Oh, strong hands, Copping. Breaks clear, runs into the open goal. That's a woeful kick. Terrible kick from Stephen Copping. Beautiful mark, great turn. But a horrendous kick for goal. Out of bounds, and there'll be a throw in left forward pocket.
Well, he probably hasn't had a lot of practice up on the farm since his recent marriage. But he certainly pulled that one way over to the left, and didn't work for him at all. Stephen Knight, ex-Footscray, current Port Adelaide player, chewing rapidly. Garton boots away, but he's also offline. So we'll see another throw in the left forward pocket. Central District 4-3, Glenelg. Central District 2-3, in fact, Glenelg 4-3. Escort Cup on 7 Sport. Robin Kidney had the run of the ball, but there was interference behind, and the free kick is going to go to Flintoff. Certainly tall for a rover. That's Jamie Thomas. He'll come to grandstand side. McGrath got a push in the back from Fisher, and he'll take the free kick. Window played on. That's unusual for the umpire to let that go. Or Coffey got up high and took a fine mark. He's at centre half forward now. You find that Fraser is at full forward. It's gone towards that player. He gets outreached more often than not. Donovan will clear for the base, and he goes long.
Up towards the half-forward line, coming in to meet the ball, is Scott Lee, and he's taken the mark. Quickly plays on centre field. Flintoff went off injured in that first half. Seems to be okay now as he drives long, but it's Carey back there in defence. Ross Gibbs elects to play on. The umpire's umpiring to advantage, and now it's Stringer on the half-back line. Well, the pass is not a good one. Having to work hard for it is Maynard. He's supported by Fisher. Gets himself into trouble. Too slow to get rid of the footy, and he's been pinged for holding it. McGrath from the half-forward left flank. The Dogs need a clear winner in defence, in attack, although Brady did pretty well until he went off injured in that first half. But further upfield than that, they haven't got a lot. Half-forward line. Van Dommel over the half-forward line. The kick off the side of the boot again, and it's going to be Seabohm in defence who takes the mark.
It's the Bay defence holding it very well at the moment. Central's finding it difficult to get a winner down there. Russell hands it off to Darren Elliott. He goes short looking for Woodland, but it's just wide of him. 4-3 to 2-3, no addition to this half-time score. And there's a Bay enthusiast. Tiger in his tank. Throw in. Tony Hall left it behind. Flintoff. Scott Lee kicks forward. Van Dommel hemmed in by 2 Bay defenders. Cruz strong through the legs of Tony Fisher. Gibbs it was that threw himself at it. Cruz goes back after it. Pittman's there, but there'll be a bounce at centre half forward.
Glenelg 4-3, Central District 2-3. Into the third quarter of this Escort Cup game. The Dogs haven't won one yet this year. The Bays have won 2 against North Adelaide and the Eagles. Maynard, a quick slick handball there. The running player is Darren Elliott for the Bays. Kernahan as well. Rowe should get a free kick. The umpire agrees. So it's Trevor Rowe, the right half-forward flank. Nice and cool here at Football Park this evening. As Van Dommel, the Dog captain, marks. Van Dommel, right half-forward flank. The lead is on. Ignored from Andrew Mould. Oh, Van Dommel jags that one. Fraser, the handball's a poor one. Down went Stringer. Pittman picks it up, slams it back to full forward. It'll go over Moulds. There are Glenelg players everywhere. Super Carey scoops it through for a point. And Graham Cornes thinks that's pretty funny. Glenelg 4-3, Central District 2-4.
I often wonder whether they ought to bring in a rule that when you do that, it's a free. But you've conceded a point. Yeah, you don't like that idea. All right. The ball kicked out on the full. Half forward left flank. Krieg now by 17 in centre field. Leads coming from everywhere. Van Dommel wants it. He's going in towards Fraser. Defence there by the Bays, gets it down. Quickly now it's Cruz. Trying to give Maynard the ball. He's given it to Stringer on the left leg. Goes in high towards centre wing. It's going to be an easy dog mark here in that spot. McGrath. Look there for Pittman. Under pressure. Finds window. He's got pace. Breaks clear. Has his 10 metres. Kicks into the man. Fisher back in defence. An untidy game. Elliott. Now Carey. And smothered off the boot again. Out of bounds, 20 metres around from the dog goal.
Certainly untidy since half-time. And Cornes doesn't look too concerned. They lead by 11 points. Moulds, Van Dommel from behind. Gibbs can't get it. So, very low-scoring game. Glenelg, Stephen Copping 2 goals. Yarton 1 and Tony Hall 1. Goal kickers for Central's Van Dommel and David Flintoff. Flintoff, that was a marvellous goal of his. Elliott comes away. Directs play to the outer side. Walter's a chance, he's got it. Now he's only about 45 metres from goal, and he's on his natural left foot, so the angle favours him a little. Flintoff on a lead in the pocket, but Walters thinks he can kick it. Important one for the Dogs. They need a goal in this third term. It's low, it's close. It's a goal! Good goal!
You're watching Escort Cup on 7 Sport. 3-4 the Dogs, Glenelg 4-3. As Gibbs clears away from the back pocket. Kernahan in hot pursuit out there on Trevor Rowe. He's a very quick player and he takes the ball over the line. Actually, Ian, you mentioned before about a free kick for a scoop through the goals like Peter Carey did. Kicking out of bounds on the full is a free kick. Perhaps handballing out on the full could be a free kick as well. Might be something for the umpires to think about. The kick off the ground, the umpire has seen a free kick, and that will go in favour of the Glenelg player out there. Looks a bit like Murphy. I wouldn't have thought Murphy would have gone back into defence. Might get Dave Darcy to pick that one up. May have been Donovan, in fact. A lot of these Glenelg players look alike. It's on again. Plenty of heat in there. Peter Carey and Bytheen. Bytheen certainly has been involved tonight. He's a pretty strong man. Super's out there trying to deal with both of them. Let's have a look at how it started. That's a high tackle, if you've ever seen one, and there have been plenty of them this evening, and a few of the players didn't like it. Back into the forward line of the Dogs there, and good mark. Beautiful mark taken by Donovan.
Donovan kicks centre field up there towards Hall, who couldn't mark it. Moulds goes through. Quickly in now there is Joe Trimble. He can't get the ball out. Players stack up, and umpire David Grace will come in and bounce centre field. 4-3 to 3-4. 9 minutes gone, second half. They can see the funny side.
Yes, Ian, do you think it's the way that the Dogs have actually set about playing this game that has perhaps made it a little bit untidy at the moment?
I think they're very defensive, Peter. They're certainly scragging them and hope that they'll unsettle the Bays. And as I said earlier, the Bays missing their playmakers. Kernahan. Free kick going to that player. The Bays a chance to go into attack now. From centre wing. 10 minutes gone, second half. Kernahan's nice looking kick up towards Copping. Big leap up there by West as well. Kidney comes through. Woodland's never in a position to get it. Copping looking for it. He got nowhere to go. Bumped into Pryor. Now it's Woodland's again. He needs help. Back towards Kidney. Buckley on top of the footy, but the umpire's seen a free kick. It'll go the way of the Dog defender, and he gets it at centre half back.
Buckley brings it grandstand side. It's just very torrid out there. A little untidy at times. Window gets paid the advantage and hands off. 2 bounces and well shepherded by Thomas. Window's long kick into the square behind Gibbs. Gibbs will clear for the Bays. Oh, there's a push in the back. Alan Stringer's the offender. Peter Window will get it. Now he's too far out to score. Coffey calling for it in the pocket, but he heads the other way back to the centre where Peter Krieg had drifted into the open space. Krieg also too far out. Lead is on, but it won't get that far. Hall fists it clear. Oh, Kidney. Been hit head high a few times tonight. He's in trouble. Butters up again. Umpire's pinned him. Oh, I don't know whether that was quite correct. Laurie Argent. He's pinned him for holding the ball. And that, Peter, maybe that new rule that's worrying these umpires.
Yeah, I think that's a good comment, David. I think they're probably thinking a bit too much about it. certainly been confusing tonight. We've seen some strange ones. They're very quick on it. And, is the player with the ball making the play? Is he being given sufficient opportunity? Perhaps not.
Fraser's got it anyway. The kick is not a good one. Is that poetic justice or is it not? It's out of bounds. On the full, I think, or will it be a throw? Throw in indeed in that right forward pocket.
Glenelg 4-3, the Dogs 3-4. Not a big quarter of football in terms of skill and pretty football. As Glenelg clear again, this time through Max Cruz. Window in the play, leads in the race to the ball in front of Fisher, and we'll see a throw in. Left half forward flank to the Dogs. Certainly if they could get a couple of goals, they'd make a game of it, because scoring is very difficult this evening. Carey, Stringer was caught. The handball came out from Moulds. It goes back towards Window, and we'll see another throw in. Tomorrow night at 7:30, Norwood against West Adelaide, in what should be a very, very good game of football. Norwood beaten last week by Woodville at Balaclava, so they'll be smarting. And West Adelaide, of course, defending the Escort Cup of 1985. They'll want to win the brass. $35,000 first prize this year, $22,000 to the runner-up. 12.5 minutes into the third quarter. Pittman goes in long. They need someone up there that can take a big mark. Oh, right over the top of the pack. I think it was Walter. Couldn't take the mark. The kick is to grandstand side again. It's gone out.
Out of bounds on the half-forward left flank. The Bays by 5 points. Stephen Trigg with the jaw wide. Most unfortunate accident. Carey. Fisher. Stringer. Heavy bodywork. Umpire David Grace has seen a free kick there going to the Bay defender. And he'll get it from the half-back flank. Playing in a new spot for him, kick number 9. We've seen him play centre, half-forward and back pocket this season a bit, but the half-back flank's taken his brother's spot. Woodlands to Maynard. Down he goes, player stack up on top, and once again we see a bounce. 4-3 to 3-4, still a battle of defences. In fact, the Dogs kicked their first goal since quarter time a little while ago, and it hasn't been a high-scoring game, obviously, with only 7 goals kicked for the game.
Just on 14 minutes gone in this third quarter as Marshall, in fact, gets the tap forward. Scott Lee the opportunity. High kick back towards centre wing. Pittman and Stringer. Read beautifully off hands by Hall. Back in the direction of Stringer. Now Peter Window. Goes short. Good pass, and it's on behind the play. Van Dommel and Hall. Well, and Stringer showing a bit of control. Gets out of the action. But let's follow the ball. It's gone to centre half forward, and Michael Walters has it. Walters, who hasn't kicked one in this quarter. He was the goal kicker previously. Has put another one through. Umpire's played 15 metres. Now he's allowing the goal. 2 to Walters.
The goal to Central District through Walters is certainly live and proceedings up. Glenelg trailing now by a point. Stringer runs into trouble. Marshall with a quick kick away. Bythene. He has been in the thick of everything tonight, Peter Bythene. Carey boots one to half forward with the left boot. They all ran past it. Copping doubled back very quickly. A chance now for Glenelg as they go in. Comes back to Maynard. He fires away, but he only brings up the point. Scores a level, 4-4 apiece, and Ian, I get the feeling if one side could perhaps boot 3 or 4 quick ones, it'll be all over Red Rover.
Would it ever, Peter? 4-4 both teams. Kick in by Hulgy. That's a massive kick up towards Window. Used his body well. Gives the run behind the pack to Pittman. He's taken care of by West. Down go the players again, and the umpire will come into bounce. Umpire Laurie Argent right now is about as popular as Galloping Tinea. A bounce down at centre wing.
Oh, excuse me.
Carey against Bythene, who came up very clumsily over the top. Fisher gets the kick away towards the half-forward line. Well played, Scott Lee, as he rebounds off that spot. Has a bounce, kicks long now to the half-forward line. Out there is Krieg too far. Gibbs getting back in defence. With him back there is Russell. Lost it to Fraser. Well played as he smothered that ball. A chance for them to go in through. Walters now on the lead. Now a beautiful pass has found Moulds about 30 metres right out in front, and the Dogs have got a chance to hit the front. Even a point, we'll see them that way. It's 4-4 both teams. Andrew Moulds head on to goal, wind assisted. Nice looking kick. The umpire said that's home. His first. The Dogs 5-4, Glenelg 4-4.
And it's been Michael Walters who's instrumental in this goal. He's kicked to himself. That was a beautiful pass. Good lead from Moulds. And Walters' pinpoint accuracy with that pass. So the Dogs have kicked their 5th. It's a very interesting game now. They lead by 6 points.
Michael Walters, an interesting player, as we see Kevin Neale in screen or on screen. He's got skills similar to Wilbur Wilson. His left foot passing is superb. He's kicked 2 goals this quarter, and he was certainly responsible for that one to Andrew Mould. So he's the player that's given them the spark. Bytheen pushes it down. Trimboli with the kick forward. That's Joe Trimboli. Cruz kicks up to half forward. Getting under the ball there is Pryor, but Woodland's the man in front. Will take the free kick. Luckily doesn't want to give it back. But he's going to take it home then. 18 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Woodlands. The lead is on from Garton, but that is ignored. In lieu thereof, Woodlands kicks it to Bytheen.
Flintoff from Bytheen. The running player in support back there. Hello. A free kick has been seen by umpire Crace, but he's going to let them play advantage again, and it's on behind play as Window gets a kick away up towards the half-forward line. Woodlands has gone off, and Murphy has come back into the action, and Henwood's about to throw in on the half-forward left flank. The Dogs by 6 points. Carey back in defence. Half-forward line. Carey hooks it back cleverly to Stringer. That beautiful play. Drops it onto his boot. Marshall, centre field. The bay starting to run. Stringer wanted it, but he can't go that way. G having to work hard for it is Hall. They tackle him well. Beautifully done, the Dogs. Trimboli comes away with centre. Over the half-forward line. Goes for home with a long one. I think it's going to be touched right on the line. It must be a mark, I would think. A push. A free kick. And it's going to be taken in defence by John Seabohm.
Here's the shot for goal from Trimboli. It went awfully close. Seabohm rather touched it before it went through, but as you saw, got a push as well. Window has it now. His kick is an awful one, and he's put it out of bounds on the full. Golden opportunity gone begging for the Dogs. As Peter Window went into those goals. And it's gone out of bounds on the full, but the umpire now is going to throw it in. That's a strange decision. Flintoff took it. His kick is wild. Gibbs. And he'll relieve the pressure. To the outer side. Walters in the thick of things in the last 10 minutes. 2 goals. Then that marvellous pass to Andrew Moulds. Brought up the 3rd. Coffey went high. Fisher at the back. Gibbs. Certainly the Dogs are tackling hard. Russell has it. Allowed to play on. Grandstand side. Nobody at home out there for the Bays. Scott Lee favoured by the bounce. Being well shepherded by Window, but left it behind. Gets it over the top. Window needs help. The handball into the pocket. Flintoff. Pittman. The shot for goal is across the face and will be marked over there by Gibbs, and he's been dumped.
He certainly has. Dumped by Coffey it was, and Gibbs is going to get a 15-metre penalty in his favour. Comes to grandstand side. He wants David Marshall, and he pinpoints him. Flintoff fell over. Marshall deciding where to put it. He's aiming for Murphy. Off hands Krieg. Very quick boot to ball. Now Flintoff got a very poor bounce. Marshall smashes out of bounds in a good defensive manoeuvre. We're into time on in the 3rd quarter, and there's no doubt that the spark this quarter has come from Michael Walters, who set them alight with 3 delightful disposals. The Dogs may in fact go into 3-quarter time up. Krieg pirouetted beautifully. The handball is to Coffey. He knows how to kick goals. The ball's swinging around, but he's offline. So it hasn't been a good evening for Coffey as the Dogs go to 5-5, Glenelg 4-4.
No doubt about it that the Dogs have stuck to their plan. They've unsettled the Bays. Henwood runs it out from Gibbs. The kick is a shocker on the outer side. Will find Tony Hall. He gets backup support there from David Kernahan. Goes longer towards centre half forward. Up there it's well taken by Murphy, who's come back into the action. That handball away is not good at all. A chance for the Dogs to clear now. Through Krieg. Krieg's handball is not effective. Players go down. Finally it comes out to Trimboli over the half forward. Guiney goes for the lead there of Moulds. Can't half volley that one. In goes Henwood. Moulds won't give it up. Players stack up. Quickly through Fraser. Walters won it. Can't get it. Henwood left it behind. Donovan didn't. Gets it out now to Russell. Going in the wrong direction. And gives a chance now for Seabone to clear. He can't pick it up either. And Graham Cornes looking worried indeed. Not playing well. Glenelg and Central lead by 7 points.
We're into time on in this third quarter. Throw in about 50 metres around from the Dogs' goal. Stringer gave it to Gibbs. Gibbs playing well in the third term. Nobody to kick it to. Goes for the safety of the line. It's a good kick to touch. So throw in now on the left half forward flank. This time about 65 metres around from the goal. Contrast in styles. Bulldogs attempting to apply the pressure all night. The Bays trying to break loose and open up the game. They haven't been able to do that to date. Kick towards centre half forward. Fraser took it out of the air. He got pulled without the ball. Russell the offender. Fraser has it at centre half forward. Let's have a look at that again as Fraser was brought to ground. Took it out of the air, then lost it. Russell thought he had it. In the ground. And the free kick was obvious. 7 points the difference. This is an important shot by Robert Fraser. Usually very accurate, and that's no exception. That's a great goal. His first. The Dogs 6-5 lead the Bays 4-4.
Well, it hasn't been a good quarter of football for the Bays, and in fact the siren has gone to end the third quarter. Pretty important one with Central District at the break. 6-5 leading the Bays 4-4. We'll take a break and then we'll be back with the last quarter here from Football Park. It's three-quarter time here at Football Park. Central District 6-5, Glenelg 4-4, and the latter part of that third quarter, Central District got right back into the game, principally through Walters, who got 2 goals, and he passed a superb ball to Andrew Moulds, and Moulds converted, and the Dogs have gone in leading by 13 points. What do you make from the stats, Robert?
Not very much. Pete, I think it's been a pretty low standard game as far as the kicking to position is concerned. Glenelg have had a lot more touches. They're just fiddling around. Their rebounds out of half back and sideways, and I think that's where Walters got into the act then. He got those couple of kicks, and it just proves if you go out short and you don't get the ball over the line, a fellow like Walters who can kick so well, that were 2 beautiful kicks for goal, and his pass, and it just set the scene for Central District to be right back in the game. We said at half-time that they weren't playing all that well, they weren't using the ball. One man has done it in 3 touches.
Yeah, but there's a lot at stake, isn't it? There's $85,000 here at stake. Clubs need money. $35,000 to the winner. Now, Glenelg have won their first 2. They'd love to win this one. Central Districts haven't won one, so they'd be desperate, which they are.
They certainly are. They're attacking hard. They're attacking the body hard. They've forced a few errors off the hand. They've tackled very strongly, but they still needed someone who's got a bit of finesse. And that lad Walters has done that for them. If Glenelg are going to get back into the game, they've got to do something through the centre of the ground in terms of getting themselves going, and they certainly stopped then. They only scored 1 point. They held Central scoreless in the second quarter, but they've got the win to come home with. It could be a good game.
Right, well, there's a lot more coming up on Channel 7 this weekend, and it is definitely an 11:30 opening for the Davis Cup tennis, Australia versus New Zealand. The doubles tomorrow, must watching, don't miss it. At 4 p.m, Touring Car Championships, highlights round 1. Tomorrow night, Nord against West Adelaide. Round 3 of the Escort Cup continues. World of Sport racetrack at 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and then the Davis Cup, Australia against New Zealand. Let's hope that we're 2-1 up tomorrow. Let's hope. 2 p.m, Escort Cup, South versus Sturt, live from Murray Bridge.
The Dogs 6-5, Glenelg 4-4. A 13-point advantage to Centrals into the final quarter here of the Escort Cup. A tough, low-scoring encounter. The ball goes back towards centre field, and Rowe, he can't get it. In goes Maynard. He's going to get a free kick for a high tackle, and this will put the Bays into attack. 4,832 people watching this very tense game. Maynard elects to handball over to Henwood. He can boot a ball, drops it onto the boot quickly up towards Gardon at full forward. Can't get it. Fine mark taken in defence by Thomas. He elects to play on, runs onto that left leg and puts it out wide, and that's well taken there by Glenelg. Glenelg sets it up for Marshall. It's a shocking pass, however. Marshall in trouble. Maynard wants help. Henwood there as well. Maynard nowhere to go. Elliott likewise can't get the ball. The Tigers can't take a trick. And the umpire, no, he's going to give a free kick. A high tackle, he said, on Elliott. He's going to get it in the big centre square. I don't think he can make the distance, although he's wind assisted from there. Elliott looks for a lead from Copping, gets one from Garton as well, puts the ball high in the air in towards full forward. Players set themselves over the back. Murphy going through and taking it well as McGrath, and he'll clear for the Dogs.
Oh, he's got a tackle applied, but he shrugs that, gets it out wide. Now they'll get clear. The kick from Thomas comes centre wing, looking for Coffey, couldn't hold it. Chance for the Bays. Donovan it is who snaps it up, puts it in towards centre half forward. Tony Hall, good mark. Good pass from Donovan. All made the right position. And now Tony Hall within kicking range. 50 metres out. It's an important shot now for Glenelg. This from behind the goals. See the ball coming straight at us. The kick is on the way. He's pulled it a fraction. Umpire signalling something. It's going to be a free kick. It's going Central's way. And it looks like Peter Bytheen who'll take it. He goes short, not a well-directed pass to Flintoff, in trouble, tackled now, over it goes to Lee. Lee pushes it out in front. Pittman was it, or Van Dommel, who went and pushed the ball out of play, and Graham Cornes just a little worried, Peter.
Yeah, I guess he would be, David. The third quarter wasn't a good one for them. The Dogs got right back into it, and if the first three quarters is any indication, we won't have big scoring in this last quarter. Trevorrow in front, Kernahan punches away, it's out of bounds again. We've seen a fair bit of that tonight, but it's to be expected from time to time in football. He could be a star one day, that lad. The Dogs are 6-5, Glenelg 4-4. Rowe. Marshall boots off the ground, but no real effect. The whistle has gone again. Almost a bit of a rugby pattern out there this evening. It's moved from pack to pack. Bytheen, he's been in the action thick and fast all night. That was very good work. Kick away. Henwood, very strong man. It's rolled out of bounds again, and we'll see a throw in centre wing.
At centre wing, 6-5 to 4-4. 4 minutes gone in the final quarter. The Dogs doing it pretty well. They're 13 points up, and in a low-scoring game such as this could be decisive. Trim bowling. Coming through there was Coffey. The umpire's going to rule which way. The ball was held to him, or he couldn't get rid of it, and it bounced down at centre wing. Coffey's come out by the looks of things to centre half forward when Brady went off in that second quarter. At the end of it, he's down in the dressing room. Played very well in that first half at centre half forward. Henwood the back knock. Elliott likewise. Going through Henwood again. David Kernahan breaks clear now. Drives along one in there looking for Copping. Sets himself Hall in the action as well. He can't quite get there. Thomas bursts his way through. Drives to the outer side. Gives a run out there now to Pittman. Pittman has got one to beat. Double tacks back in towards the half forward line. A high kick. Setting himself cruise and takes a good defensive mark.
Played pretty well at centre half back after he struggled in the first quarter when Brady had the better of him. Max Cruz. Oh, Henwood left unattended at centre wing. Chance for the base to go forward now. Copping calling for it wide. That's been ignored. Garton on a lead. With him Hull. Garton had front position, couldn't hold it. Back it comes to Hull. Hull distributes to Scott Lee. His kick is short to centre wing. Awkward bounce for Donovan. Players going in strongly. It's David Marshall at the bottom of the pack. But umpire Argent will bounce. So 4-4 the base, 6-5 the Dogs. We've just gone past 5 minutes in this final quarter, in what certainly has been a very low-scoring game. Buckley kicks hurriedly towards centre half forward. Well read by Gibbs. Gibbs drives in long towards the square. Hull getting back there, off hands. Pryor goes for the safety of the line. Murphy in pursuit. Throw in right forward pocket.
Watching Escort Cup on 7 Sport. Glenelg 4-4, the Dogs 6-5. No doubt about it. Cowboy would love a victory because he's taken a hammering in the press this week. Everybody suggesting that the Dogs are not up to it in 86. And the Cowboy's not having any of that at all. He was brought up in a pretty tough school from the Victorian country into the city of Melbourne. Alan Jeans, of course, has been his senior coach for some considerable time. In fact, you might call him a mentor to Cowboy. The ball comes out. Window again. Kicks up to half forward. Max Cruz. Over the line. Gee, that was a fine tackle. The umpire is coming in. Umpire to make a decision about that. No, it went out before the tackle, so there's going to be a throw in. Glenelg are about to make a change. Copping to be replaced by Woodlands. The latest in fashion there as we see a throw in with Henwood pushing it down towards Stringer and Kidney. He kicks around the body. Maynard, closest player to the ball, but I had the feeling he saw Bytheen coming in then. Grenvold kept running and got poleaxed. The ball comes out though as we see Joe Trimboli get the ball out to Flintoff. Flintoff hooks one forward. Krieg under the ball. He's in front. Pretty good attempt for a mark. That's a high tackle. And David Kernahan will take the free kick.
He's at centre-half back. Peter, do you feel the move of Copping off is rather strange? He's about the one person in attack that looks like he's going to be dangerous for the Bays.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Ian. I hadn't thought of it at that time, but Garton really hasn't been a tower of strength as we'd expect him to be.
I'd agree. West now puts it out to the lead of Garton. Not that they've kicked the ball all that well to him, and Hull's done a good job winding his way through, or trying to wind his way through, was Tony Hall at the bottom of the pack. The umpire said he hasn't got a chance of getting rid of it and will come in and bounce. 6-5 to 4-4. We've been saying that now for 8 minutes. There has been no score in this quarter. A desperate struggle. The Cowboy wants to win one. The Bays trying to maintain their unbeaten record. Once again, we're going to have a bounce down. Umpires Argent and Crace having a pretty typical task out there. There's been a couple of dust-ups. Nothing really untoward. The Dogs just determined to win one. At the centre-half forward spot, the bodies go in. Van Dommel tries to wind out, gets a kick away only as far as West. With him there is Peter Window. Players stack up again, and the umpire's going to give a free kick this time, and it's going to the wingman, Peter Window, at centre-half back.
Window looking for leads. Called on now by the umpire. And gets around the man on the mark. The pass is short, and it's successful. Lee has it. There's a bit of action on behind play. Kernahan's been dumped. That's a good mark. Pittman it is at half forward right. The shot is on the way, going close, but all good mark in defence. He was off, Sevo. No. Umpire saw it differently to us. Put that 1 or 2 steps forward, Peter.
It's amazing. They always give the player the benefit of the doubt, David. There was no doubt he was off.
Marshall pushed in the back. Will take the free. So the Bays fortunately are out of trouble as Copping watches. Perhaps he's maybe a little tired. His first run for the year. That could only be the only reason I could see for Cornes taking him off at the moment. Out centre wing, still 13 points the difference. Gee, it's been a torrid game. No quarters asked or given.
The bounce down. Out of bounds, centre wing. 6-5 the Dogs. Glenelg 4-4. Well, can Glenelg get back into it? The Dogs are certainly doing everything they can to stop them. Murphy on the ground with Peter Bytheen. I tell you what, he has been in all the trouble tonight. I'm not suggesting in one sense that he's caused it, but he's certainly been around the action. Henwood, Bytheen again with the strong body. Michael Murphy clears away. Centre half forward. Elliott was the player there. He went up far too early. Pittman in the centre of the ground. Tries to kick off the ground. He got a fair bit for his trouble. He's still on the ground now. Up towards Pryor, vice captain for the Dogs tonight, and Scott Lee. He was involved in some pretty interesting stuff early too. Trimboli there and Lee. They're trying to run it out. In fact, they've run it over the line. Glenelg 4-4, the Dogs 6-5.
Full marks to the Dogs. They're hanging in there, tackling fiercely, not letting the Bays get any freedom at all. Stephen Copping, yeah, all right, Peter, he looks tired. Or was it David Darcy? The ball at centre wing through Stringer. In goes the heavy body of Bytheen, and gee, he certainly added some strength to the Dogs tonight. He's determined, all right. He's been in the middle of most of the little fisticuffs, or not fisticuffs, but little swatting or whatever. Yeah. Van Dom on top of Henwood, and the umpire will come in and bounce at the centre wing on the outer side. 6-5 to 4-4. 11 minutes we've been saying that now. A bounce down on the outer side. Henwood went for the roundhouse right, missed. Krieg can't find the footy. Finally he comes out with it, which was well done. Back on the half back line now to Scott Lee. Kicks high to Fraser. Russell there as well. Here's a chance for a high tackle on Flintoff. He's got to get a free kick. Try to get the handball away. Had to go back for it. Now it's Krieg. Krieg under pressure. Back to Flintoff. He runs into trouble. Quickly now Buckley. He's in attack now. Gee, he was slow to get rid of the footy. And finally the Bays will run away. Coffey it was. Elliott gets the long handball out. Trimboli against Russell. He'll want support. Does it beautifully. Gets it over now. A long kick into by Fraser. Up they fly. And the ball goes off the fingers of Walters and through for the minor score.
Well, it took nearly 12 minutes to get a score in this last quarter, then a rush point at that. 4 plays 6-6. The lead now is 14 points. The Bays through Gibbs find Maynard. There's a penalty. Maynard's not happy. Krieg being brought back 15 metres by umpire Crash. Gibbs ran straight through Krieg. Maynard allowed to play on. Evades the tackle. Now the kick into the square. Fisted clear. Opportunity here for the Bays. Woodlands it is. Picks up. Screws back towards goal. A bounce. The wrong way. 1 point.
It's amazing, you know. The umpires are out there, and admittedly they've got a difficult job, but Ross Gibbs ran straight into Krieg then to allow Maynard to take the kick. The umpire was on the spot and didn't do a thing about it. Hull it is at fullback to kick off for the Dogs. He gets a lot of height with it, about 50 metres in length. Henwood is there, so is Big James West. And he took the mark in opposition there to Moulds. Big Jim can kick a long way. Started on the interchange bench this evening, and the Cowboys go on for the phone. The lead is 13 points to the Dogs. Incredibly, Glenelg, which kicked such a high score last week, has managed only 4 goals this evening. West goes long. It's a mammoth kick, but it's sliding off to the right. Glenelg still can't get a goal, and they haven't scored one in since the end of the second quarter. So it's 4-6 to 6-6, Glenelg trail.
Duthie for Kernahan. Comes straight into the action window towards the line. Quite happy to see it go out. Tried to use his pace to break round the Bay defence, but paddled the ball out of bounds.
Hasn't been a bad performance by Window.
No, he showed a lot of speed. Hall, Duthie. The kick is not a good one. On the half back line. Ball sent out there by McGrath. And it's gone out on the full. Free kick to Donovan at centre wing. Looks for Murphy at centre half forward. West there with him, a two-pronged attack. Going through beautifully is Marshall. Drives a long one in towards goal. I think the Bays have got one touch right on the line. Woof, said the Cowboy. He was happy to see that. 1 point only. The Bays move on to 4-7. The Dogs 6-6.
Big sigh of relief there from the Cowboy as Hull brings the ball back into play. A long kick to the outer side. Oh, what a leap! Marshall from behind, over the top of Krieg. And Marshall, who very nearly kicked the goal just a few seconds ago, brings in a magnificent mark. Gibbs has it, plays on now. Kick into the pocket. Leaving it behind was Garton. And there'll be a throw in that left forward pocket. So the difference now is 11 points. We're 15 minutes into the last term. Great action on 7 Sport. The throw in. Pittman close to the line, manages to keep it in play, and that's a good bounce. Out of play then, and again the Cowboy sighs with relief.
They've had no momentum at all since half-time, the Bays, and they're finding it pretty difficult to turn it around in their favour. The Dogs are defending very tightly. Jim West puts it out in front of Tony Hall. He got rid of it very quickly. Maynard into the pocket. Tony Hall backs up. They're running into corners, the Bays. Hall can't get loose. The crowd not holding the ball. Comes back to Maynard. He screws one away. It's coming back. Not far enough. Only the minor score. So Glenelg doing it in dribs and drabs. 4-8, trailing the Dogs 6-6.
The Dogs living up to their names. Really, real terriers at the moment. Won't give the Bays any respite. Good mark, Coffey on the half back line. The umpires paid the mark. And the erstwhile forward on the half back line at the moment sends them out of defence. Drops it short. It wasn't a good kick at all. Cruz takes the ball. The Bays can't get anyone winning in attack as they go in towards the half forward line. That's a nice mark taken there. And I think you'll find that's Joe Trimble. On the defensive corner of the square. Injure rubber man there. Thought he's underneath that ball. Did it well. Kicks towards the half forward line. Big mark over the top. Marshall, or is it Gibbs? Gibbs. Oh! Gee. Nearly lost his teeth then. Brendan Little on the ground for the Dogs. Just have a look at this as he goes to the ground. Up go the legs. The play goes on towards the half forward line. The Dogs doing it well. Through McGrath again. I think you'll find that's going to be an FAD. And it's going to Trevorrow, or is it going back to McGrath? It's going back to Buckley. I thought McGrath, actually. But Buckley, it's going to be Buckley. Peter, all right. It was paid FAD.
Buckley now at centre half back for the Dogs. Difference is 10 points. 17 minutes into the quarter. Henwood at the back shows superior judgment. Bays needs to get a move on now. Goals at a premium here in the last quarter. Henwood around one, but that's a terrible kick. Back to McGrath. He fumbles, in trouble. Throws it on the ground, gets a high tackle, says Laurie Argent. So he's got it at centre half back. The Dogs are hanging on. And there it is in replay, and no doubt the infringement was there. McGrath goes short, looking for Rowe. Possession football from the Dogs. We've seen that time has ticked on to about 17 minutes and just 4 minutes plus time on to be played. Henwood, good mark. A high kick. In front, is it going to be paid at the second attempt? It is. Jamie Thomas had an interesting duel back there. Michael Murphy playing at centre half forward at the moment. He's found it difficult to break clear. So Thomas will boot it back towards centre wing. A big nest of Bay players. Cruz unattended. Here's a chance. Gibbs loose. Gibbs goes in short. Looking for Garton. Can't handle it. Kick off the ground by Lee. Marshall after it. But coming out with it is Peter Winder.
He tears off, kicks it over the centre of the ground. Fraser's got the ball, gets boot to ball eventually. Now it's Bytheen running to the boundary line. Seabohm over the top of him. The handball comes back. Great work. Little runs into the open goal and misses. Oh. Well, a goal there would have sewn it up for the Dogs, but they couldn't convert. 6-7 now, leading the Tigers 4-8.
Bytheen's played well, so has McGrath and Jamie Thomas. The Dogs have got a few good players, and they're hanging in there. They lead by 11 points now. Big leap, McGrath. Gee, he just took a thumping a little while ago at centre half. Back came up gimpy, but that mark certainly belied the injury. McGrath at centre half forward. Coffey gives a tentative lead, but aborts. He's going in longer, up towards the lead now of Bytheen. Uses his body well, gets underneath the ball. He's got it! Fine mark, Peter Bytheen. Cornes looks worried, cannot believe it. A strong mark, body to body with Seabohm all the way, and Bytheen's got it 30 metres out on a slight angle. Well, I agree with Peter Marker. A goal here could seal it for the Dogs. Towards the golf course end. Bytheen on the way. The kick is not going to come back with a boot. And the Tiger supporters breathe a sigh of relief again. 6-8 plays 4-8. The Dogs in front.
12 points the difference, 2 clear goals. So they'll need more than 2 kicks now to win this.
There won't be a lot of time on, Peter. I reckon that there's 20 minutes gone. I mean, David, I reckon there's only going to be another 2 minutes of play.
Yes, we're 20 minutes plus gone, and 21-minute quarters. Grenville went high. In goes Brendan Little. He could have sewn the game up a few moments ago when he had that shot for goal, but he missed. So umpire Craze to bounce just at centre half forward for the Dogs. Cornes is worried. Well, they'll give him trouble. Having won their previous 2 Escort Cup matches and looked a certainty before this game started, but it's been a courageous effort by the Dogs. Yes, it has been a while since Glenelg have lost a game of footy. It's most unaccustomed for them. But It was the end of the minor round, in fact, last year when they lost their last game. A staring defeat in the face at the moment, although Kidney has it running through centre-half forward. Is this the attacking move they're looking for? It's into the square. Oh, Woodland's at the back, has a second chance, pops a goal! He's got it, no doubt about that! One goal the difference, the first to Woodland's. Oh, what a goal!
I'm a Rocker Brothers Red Bull, from head to toe. A Rocker Brothers Red Bull, I'm saving dough.
Save on top quality auto accessories and rockers. Orange your headlight protectors, only $22.95. Orange your rear louver with locking kit included, an incredible $43.95. Top quality Top Gear car care products to keep your car looking great. Jet Flex body repair putty, a low $7.15. Rocker Brothers, Para Hills and Beverton.
Rocker 1, Rocker 2.
Well, that was the only goal scored so far in this quarter, and what a ripper it was to Craig Woodlands, the little opportunist. When he gets a sniff around goals, he rarely misses. 6-8 plays 5-8. The Dogs in front. Can they hang on? Can the Bays get back? As I mentioned before, there's a lot riding on this Escort Cup. Plenty of money involved. They go forward again through Kidney, and he's been involved in both of their forward thrusts. And Gibbs couldn't quite keep it in then. Started off in the back pocket. May have gone to centre for a while, but he's certainly up forward now. In ruck will be Adam Garton. McGrath, possibly the Dogs' best player. He's going to get a free kick. The umpire doesn't like what Garton did. He's bringing him back 15 metres. It must have been fairly serious for that sort of reaction from the up. The siren's gone. The Dogs have come from the grave of the last 2 weeks to win this one with a very good second half of football, and it's still on out there. They've been at it all evening, these two sides. Robin Kidney dragged someone from the mess. When will this game end, Ian? The siren's gone, but they want to keep playing.
Which game are we talking about, Peter? Well, it's been on all night. There's been a lot of bad feeling out there. But in a game where you've got a lot of scragging and scruffing, and you've got two teams hell-bent on seeming to physically destroy the other one, you're going to get this sort of thing happening. And the Dogs went out there with a plan to unsettle the Bays. They were without their playmakers, but full marks to Cowboy Neale and the Dogs. They stuck to their plan, and they've come out victors.
Yes, the final scoreline, the Dogs 6-8 to Glenelg 5-8, and who would have thought at half-time the Dogs would have got back into it, because Ian, at the half-time break, they were 2-3, trailing Glenelg 4-3. Remember, Glenelg got one right on the bell, and that 12-point lead, with Glenelg kicking with the breeze in the third quarter, you would have imagined at that stage that Glenelg would have been clear-cut favourites.
Yes, Peter, I thought at three-quarter time that their superior skill would have won out on the night, but I don't know that they did have superior skill when it was all boiled down at the end. But when you have a look at it, it was a battle of defences. The Dogs had some superb players, Hull in defence with McGrath, and the Bays did the same. And apart from Brady in the first half, I can't think, and Copping to a lesser extent for the Bays, I can't think of one forward that won his position for the night.
No, I'd agree with that. And of course, worse was to come for the Dogs when Brady had to go off with an injury. Later in the evening, Coffey was taken out of full forward and he was put into defence. And then we found Bytheen started to rest at full forward with Andrew Mould. So it was a complete shake-up in the Central District lineup, and a pretty good effort for them to come up, notwithstanding that imbalance that was caused.
I agree, Peter. I'd also like to highlight the effort of Bytheen. He was the instigator of a lot of the rough stuff, and I think he caused the Bays to drop concentration a fair bit. But whilst he was doing all that, he played a strong game himself, and he had a chance to kick that goal in the end, which eventually wasn't necessary at all. But I'd give full marks to Peter Bytheen. I think he's got something to prove out there in the Dogland, and tonight I think he started doing just that.
Yes, I'd agree with that. Of course, they're missing a few players, and the same for the Bays. The Bays left out 5. I think they've got a game on Tuesday night against the Bulldogs from Melbourne. They left out 5, but the Bulldogs here also have got a couple out, Cousins and Bubner, just to mention a few. Well, that's it. A great victory to the Dogs. The coach is pretty happy. They're singing their victory song. Central District 6-8, beat Glenelg 5-8. We'll take a break and then we'll be back with more soon thereafter. Well, Central District has scored a major upset in defeating previously undefeated Glenelg by a goal here at Football Park. It was a great second half of football to the Dogs. They really hung in there, and Robert Oatey is down in the change rooms now, and he's talking to the victorious coach, Cowboy Neale.
Yes, Kevin Neale's certainly very pleased. Things certainly changed tonight, Kevin.
Yes, it was a lot better effort. we've been trying pretty hard, but we've just been playing as individuals, and we haven't really had a solid team effort. And you know, we worked on that, and the players were pretty honest with themselves this week, and we thought if we could work as a unit and just keep busting our guts, well, you know, we might be able to win one. And you know, they did just that tonight. They really never give up working hard in 2s and 3s and 4s, which, you know, was really good.
At half-time, Peter and I sort of made mention that Centrals had worked hard in the first half but hadn't done anything with the ball. Then young Walters did a good job during that third quarter for you with a couple of wonderful kicks.
Yes, well, you know, that's, apart from the other skills Mick's got, that's one of the pluses to play him in a half-forward flank, because, or somewhere around the forward line, because he can kick goals when he gets it. Yeah, he's a beautiful disposer of the ball, and you know, he kicked 2 and then set another one up. And you know, we just lacked a bit of penetration up forward early. We worked very hard, as you said, and didn't get any great results from it. But you know, while doing that, at least in the second quarter against the wind, Glenelg didn't get too far away from us.
Do you think you're getting anywhere at Central? Do you think the club really is responding to your coaching at the moment? You're feeling confident in yourself now? You're really starting to get the feel of Central Districts after a couple of seasons or so, and you must be starting to feel as though you feel the ups and downs of Centrals. They've had a few over the years, Kevin.
Oh yes, you know, we just we've had to sort of keep changing the blokes and until we get the fellas with the right attitude, and we probably expected a little bit too much too early this year. We thought, you know, we had problem spots last year. We recruited the blokes we wanted, and we thought it was just a matter of dropping them in and we'd click, but it doesn't work that way. And our first 2 games were disappointing that we didn't win them, but you know, and we've just sort of only turned the corner. We've got a long way to go yet, but you know, they showed that they can do it if they really want it hard enough.
It's good to see Andrew Moulds back in tonight. A couple of seasons ago, when you first came, he looked as though he was going to be the goods, didn't he?
Yes, well, both him and Peter Bythleen tonight are a bit short in height against Carey and Henwood, and I thought they both did a superb job. They just kept at the body all night and didn't give them a chance to dominate.
Well, I'm sure Central Districts, when they get a little bit more go, with a bit more touch on that ball, their effort tonight was fantastic. Good on you, Kevin. Well done. Maybe another few weeks we'll see the Bulldogs right in there.
I hope so. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Robert. The Bulldogs still in the race for Escort Cup money, and I think that Cowboy Neale could sign a contract with a chewing gum manufacturer or a cigarette manufacturer. He should make a few bob there on the side. We'll take a break now, and then Dave Darcy will be talking with Graham Cornes. Well, Glenelg has suffered its first defeat for the 1986 Escort Cup, and Dave Darcy now is talking to Glenelg coach Graham Cornes.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Graham, it's one of those games, isn't it, really?
No, just one of those hard slogging games, and they outslogged us in the end.
Did you expect that sort of football?
Oh, yeah, particularly in view of Central District's last couple of weeks, you knew that they were going to be out scragging and headhunting and trying to slow the game down, and they did it very well. I didn't think our guys didn't get sucked in, but they just sort of kept at it, and in the end we didn't use the ball well enough, and they were a bit more determined and a bit more desperate than we were in the end, and that's when it mattered.
Cornesy, because you're the tall poppy, is that sort of thing going to happen to you regularly throughout the season? Do you expect that to happen to you?
Well, you do. I mean, well, who knows who's the tall poppy?
Well, you were from last year,
we're the reigning premier, so obviously a team playing against you is going to lift their performance, so you've got to expect it, yeah.
Umpiring performance tonight, how'd you see that?
Well, I was most impressed with the new chap. I thought
David Craze.
Yeah, I thought his performance was really good. I was just as equally disappointed and even disgusted with Laurie Argent.
What aspects of his umpiring didn't you?
Well, his interpretation, this new interpretation of holding the ball. I mean, Robin Kidney would be wondering what on earth he's got to do to get a free kick or to stop giving away a free kick. I mean, every time he touched the ball, a player laid his hand on it, bang, free kick, and I was most disappointed, to say the least, with Laurie Argent. The other lad I thought was terrific.
Do you think we're putting too much onus on the umpires to ask them to interpret the...
Yeah, well, I think we do. You know, holding the ball, holding the man is always open to controversy, and it is a difficult rule to interpret. But the guy who's playing the ball and has made the effort to play the ball and gets the ball first, surely should be given an opportunity to get rid of it. And you know, I thought Laurie's interpretation of that and a couple of other decisions of his were, you know, just absolutely. For an experienced umpire, I mean, footballers and coaches have to cop the criticism. I don't see why umpires shouldn't, and it's always risky to do it because you have repercussions next time you play them. But you know, I'm saying that the new lad was as good an umpiring performance as I've seen. The other one was just as equally as poor.
Not a good performance from the Bays. I know.
No, I know. Well, I'm not detracting from the performance of Central District, so I'm not saying that was the difference between winning or losing. But yeah, obviously we're disappointed we didn't win. But you know, we tried a few new players and tried a few new positions, and we didn't win. And we're disappointed we didn't win, and we want to make amends for that.
Thanks for joining us, Graham Cornes. I know you, Peter, weren't too happy with the umpires either.
Well, I guess we've got to stick together, but I think it's good, David, to see someone like Graham Cornes in his position with some upfront honesty there about his views of the umpiring, because as he said, if the umpire took that the wrong way, perhaps the next time that they met, things mightn't go Glenelg's way. But Graham Cornes with some honesty there, and I think that's good to see, rightly or wrongly. And Graham will have his next chance, of course, on Tuesday night. Foster's Cup, 9:30, 7 Sport. Watch it, Glenelg against the Victorian Bulldogs, and that should be a great game. Tuesday night, 9:30, Foster's Cup. Plenty of sport over the weekend on Channel 7. Keep your dial on Channel 7 because you'll see plenty. Tomorrow morning, 11:30 a.m, Davis Cup tennis. The score at the present moment, 1-all. Incredibly, Paul McNamee lost the first rubber after being 4-1 up in the third set and having won the first 2 sets, and he lost in 5 sets. But Peter McNamara got back. It's 1-all, the doubles tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. At 4 p.m, Touring Car Championships. That's must viewing also, and at 7:30 p.m, West against Nord in the Escort Cup. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m, World of Sport. 9:30 a.m, we see the Davis Cup continue, and hopefully Australia can get up and win that one. Then at 2 p.m, live from Murray Bridge, the Escort Cup continues. That is round 3 with South Adelaide against Sturt. So there's plenty of viewing on 7 Sport on the weekend. We hope you enjoyed this evening's production of the Escort Cup. From Peter Marker and from the 7 Sports desk, we bid you good evening.